What's up guys, it's Jaden, and over 6 months ago, I posted a setup tour video on YouTube that went crazy. I received a lot of positive feedback from you guys in the comments, and recently some of you guys have been asking on my Twitch streams and Twitter for an updated setup tour video. If you've kept up with any of my TikToks or YouTube videos, you know that a lot has changed in my setup. And with that being said, let's get into it. Right when you walk into my room, the first thing you'll see is my setup. This is where I stream, edit, and create all my content. I've put a lot of time and effort into my setup, and I'm excited to share with you guys the updates that I've made since my previous setup tour video. I'll first start off talking about my setup, then my shelves, and lastly, everything behind my setup. If you guys are interested in anything in my setup, I'll have everything linked down below in the description. Let's first begin with the foundation of my setup, and that's my desk. This is a custom-built, spalted ambrosia maple desk with hints of walnut. My dad custom built this for me, and it truly means a lot to me. The coolest part about this desk is underneath it. You'll find a secret cable drawer, and simply by pushing in, it releases this door. And this is where I do all my cable management. This is perfect for hiding cables, boxes, power strips, and just about anything revolving around cable management. It has 5 holes in the back of the cable drawer, and this is perfect for feeding cables from my desk into the cable drawer. When I'm done cable managing, all I simply have to do is push the door in, the magnet clicks, and we're good to go. I love how this blends in perfectly with my desk. As I just previously mentioned, there are 5 holes on the back of the secret cable drawer, and all I simply have to do is feed the cables from my desk into the holes. And no matter where the cables are located, there'll be a hole that's close enough so that the cables aren't stretching far across my desk. I've put a lot of time and effort into my cable management, and while it could use a little bit of work, I am satisfied with the way it came out. If you watched my previous setup tour video, I used these command strips to mount my XLR cable all the way around my desk. But I recently encountered some audio issues, so I ended up mounting the XLR cable on the front side of the desk. Right below my desk is my mini fridge. I've had this for almost a year now, and I absolutely love it. While I rarely stock it, when I do, I love the convenience of just simply opening it and pull out a drink. One of the recent additions to my setup has been this RGB palm tree. I put it on the left side of my desk because I thought it matched my wood, but in the overall grand scheme of things, it really just doesn't match my color scheme of my setup. I'm probably going to move this someplace else where it matches better, but for right now, it's going to be sitting on my desk. Let's now talk about the lights. On the left side, I have a Favutech softbox light that I've had for years. This light has worked amazing. I bought it in a pack of 2. The other one broke, but this one is still working perfectly fine. On the right side, I have a newer ring light, and both of these lights work perfectly for my streaming setup. Let's now talk about my audio setup. For the mic arm, I have a Rode PSA-1 connected to a Rode pod mic with a $15 windscreen on it. I have an XLR cable that goes under my desk and goes all the way to the other side of my desk into my Go XLR Mini. This is a great mixer. I absolutely love it, especially for streaming. The customization is endless and the convenience is unmatched. The cable for the Go XLR goes right under the edge of the table into my secret cable drawer. From my Go XLR into my headset, I have the HyperX Cloud Mix. I've been switching in and out with this headset and the Sennheiser PC37X. I've been testing out open back headsets, but I've come to realize that I really just like the closed back headset feel. It's better for gaming, and I personally enjoy it better. I'm still rocking the same gaming chair that I showed off in the previous setup tour video. This chair isn't anything special, and I would love to upgrade it in the future. I don't like gaming chairs because the fact that when you're gaming for a long period of time, your back gets really sweaty because there's no place for it to breathe. I would love to pick up an ergonomic chair in the future, but for right now, this works perfectly fine. Let's now talk about my peripherals because a lot has changed since my previous setup tour video. The current keyboard that I'm using is a custom-built Tofu acrylic with a brass plate, ink blacks, an Instant 60 PCB, and the GMK Belfonte keycap set. This is paired with a Mellotech white aviator cable, which I absolutely love. I was originally using a gray aviator cable, but it recently broke, so I decided to pick up a white aviator cable. The mouse that I'm currently rocking with is the G Pro Superlight. I was originally using the Glorious Model O, but I finally decided to upgrade. Paired with my G Pro Superlight, I picked up the charging dock, and this just makes the G Pro Superlight almost like a Viper Ultimate, especially when it comes to the charging experience. I've been using the stock puck that comes with the mouse, but anytime I want to charge it, all I simply have to do is pop out this puck, put on this puck, stick it on the charging dock, and it'll start charging. Right under my monitors, I have the Elgato Stream Deck. I've had this for years. I absolutely love it. It's super helpful, especially for streaming. I recently posted a YouTube video of me setting up my third monitor. My old main monitor was originally this top third monitor, but I recently decided to upgrade my main monitor. This is an Asus TUF 24.5 inch 280 Hz monitor. The top monitor is an Acer XFA 240 24 inch 144 Hz monitor. I was a little skeptical when I bought this new main monitor since it was 24.5 inches because I didn't think that the bezels would line up considering this is a 24 inch monitor. It ended up working perfectly considering that the bezels on this top monitor are a lot bigger than the ones on my main monitor. Yes, the top one is a little bigger, but it's not that big of a deal and you can't really notice it unless you look really closely. The vertical monitor that I've been using for a while now is an Acer Nitro 21 or 23 inch monitor, I can't remember, and a lot of you guys in my previous setup tour video told me to flip the bezels on this monitor, and as much as I would love to do that and as much as that would just make the overall monitor setup so much cleaner, the reason I can't do that is because if I did, all the cables on my monitor will be facing outward like here. So I have to keep it like this. As much as I would love to just turn it so that the bigger bezel is facing outward, I can't do that. The monitor setup took me a while to figure out. I originally bought a triple monitor mount, but on the top monitor mount, it didn't have an arm that was flexible enough so that I could get the monitor position I wanted. So I ended up taking the flexible arm from my original dual monitor mount and put it on the top of my triple monitor mount. This allowed me to freely move the top monitor into the configuration that I wanted. On the top part of my monitor mount, I have this little clamp for my webcam, and this serves as a keyboard cam for my stream. It does get a little bit annoying when I'm looking at my third monitor because my webcam gets in the way, but this is the only way that I can mount it so that it would get close enough to my desk. The camera that I am currently using for streaming is my Canon T7 with the kit lens. It's paired with a cheap $15 tripod from Amazon, but it gets the job done. I'd eventually like to upgrade my camera in the future, but for now it works perfectly fine. Pulling back from the main two cameras, there's one more camera that I would like to talk about, and that's in the top right corner of my shelf. This is an old webcam that I found, and I decided to use it as a setup cam for my stream. I bought a 15-foot USB to USB-C cable, I mounted it all the way across my shelf, down, and plugged it into my PC. This is a super cool addition to my stream, and I absolutely love it. Let's talk about the beast that runs my setup, and that's my PC. The case is a Corsair 465X with some LL120s. My graphics card is an RTX 2070 Super. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM, an Aorus X570 motherboard with a Ryzen 9 5800X. I originally had a Ryzen 9 3950X but encountered a CPU failure, so I had to make an upgrade. As much as I wanted the more cores and threads, the CPU was cheaper, and with the market right now for PC components, this was all I could get. The AIO is a Corsair Compellix AIO. I have some white cable extensions and a Rey Funko Pop from Star Wars sitting on top of my graphics card. This PC is beautiful, and I kept the Corsair theme so that all the colors would match perfectly. I forgot to mention the mousepad that I'm currently using is the Gutsy Aiden Low Edition mousepad. I've been interchanging mousepads a lot, and this is the one that I've been currently rocking with. It's been matching my color scheme really well. A lot of you guys have been asking the wallpapers that I use for my monitor. It's called Retro High, and it's from Wallpaper Engine that you can download for Steam for about $2 to $3. On the right hand side of my desk, I have my PS5 controller. I rarely use this, but when I do, it's mostly for Rocket League. My friend 3D printed this PS5 controller mount, then I used some double-sided adhesive tape to stick on my desk, and all I simply have to do is set the controller on it and it sits snugly in this mount. The one thing I am not happy about when it comes to my setup is my RGB strip lights. With the recent updates I've made to my setup, I've had to take down these RGB strip lights probably 3 or 4 times, and the adhesive just isn't holding up anymore. I think I covered pretty much everything in my setup. Let's now move on to my shelves. The bottom shelf is my sports shelf. This is where I keep my football helmets, replicas of Wrigley Field, soccer balls from Europe, souvenir cups from baseballs, baseballs I've caught at batting practice at games, signed baseballs. Then I have a keyboard that's sitting on the bottom shelf that wouldn't fit on the top shelf. This is a really unique keyboard. It's a Tokyo 60 with KO Box Jades and MT3 Dasher keycaps. It's super unique because it doesn't have a control key. It's super nice for productivity, and I've been enjoying using this a lot. Right above this bottom shelf, I have some camera gear, an RGB controller, my sunglasses, this 3D printed Prime Crambit from Valorant that my friend and I printed. I'd eventually maybe like to spray paint it, make it pretty cool. It's been fun to mess around. It's a little scuffed up, so we might reprint it to see if it comes out better. I have keys, my wallet, some extra switches, an old keyboard, my TKL keyboard that I use for editing because it has arrow keys, some power strips, another power strip that I use to power my neon light, weather stations that my brother uses, some G Fuel on the right side that I haven't had in a while. I haven't drank G Fuel in a long time. I've been drinking a bunch of other energy drinks that I've been enjoying a lot more, but I might get back to G Fuel in the future. The shelf above that is my iPhone/tech shelf. This is a shelf that I've been developing for years. Ever since I got an Apple product, or my family would get an Apple product, or a relative or a friend, and they didn't want the box, I would always keep it. Keep in mind, not all of these products are mine. I've just kept the boxes over time because I think it's something super cool to hold on to. It kind of goes in order from the oldest to the newest Apple device. Over here we have the iPhone 3G, the 3S, the 4S, the SE, my Apple Watch, some Apple gift cards, a ton of AirPods because I've had a lot of problems with my AirPods and I've had to return so many. So I've just kind of kept the extra boxes, some other iPhones, some 7s, 8s, some Pluses, the 12, the updated SE, the Apple TV, some MacBooks, and my original iPod. This was the first Apple device I ever got. It's pretty cool. I still hold on to this. And then above that, I have my streaming tech shelf where I have my Go XLR box, my graphics card box, cameras, mouse, Stream Deck, a ton of CPUs because I've had so many CPU failures, and some old headsets. Above that, I just have some picture frames and everything else. Down below the bottom shelf, I have a floodlight in this corner, and going all the way over to the other side of my room, I have another floodlight in this corner. For the background of my setup/stream, Govee sent us out their Govee Glide wall light that I recently added. I absolutely love the customization with this RGB product, and it's super fun to play around with. Underneath the Govee Glide wall light, I have an RGB neon planet. That's pretty much all for the background of my setup/stream. I'm really happy with the way everything turned out. If we look into the left corner of my setup, this is where I get a bunch of my product shots. I film B-roll on this table. I put some backdrops for thumbnails, and this is kind of a desk that really serves as whatever I need it for. On the left side, I have this RGB moon that can switch colors. It's super cool. I absolutely love it. And then up here, I have my Duke Blue Devils banner. I love this. I'm a big Duke fan. A few of you guys in my previous setup tour video mentioned my windows. I try to keep these open all the time. I love natural light, and I'll occasionally film some B-roll shots on my desk with the natural light flowing in from the window. It's also super cool if I'm streaming because it adds this natural light onto my face, and I love the look that it gives off into my setup with the woods in the background. I have 3 fake plants that I don't really know where they're gonna go. I'll use these for B-roll shots, but they typically just sit right here. Right below my blue desk, I have an air purifier. I'm a little sensitive to dust, and this really helps with that. That's all for my setup/room tour video. I know this is a really long video, and I'm sorry for that, but I hope I was able to cover everything in my setup. If I missed anything or left anything out, let me know down below in the comments. I hope you guys did go on to enjoy this video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe down below. In addition to that, I do stream over on Twitch, so if you'd like to catch me there, I'll leave a link to that in the description. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, I'm literally trying to play this kid on 2 kids on our flank. Both dead on flank. He's flashed.